Okay, so we have this really big thing about bar seats that we've been talking
Yes.
about recently.
And I feel like it's something you really brought to my attention.
Uh-huh.
And ever since you have, it's like I can't walk into the same I can't walk into a bar without evaluating
Without
it on this
evaluating the bar
feature.
stools, yeah.
The bar stools,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know when it started for me, but I think it was like a year ago. Somebody was like, "Oh, let's go to this bar for a happy hour, like this new bar." And as a normal millennial does, they look up the menu and beforehand, just because we have anxiety.
Uh-huh.
So I look up pictures of the bar, and my first thing was like, "Oh, no backs on the bar seat."
There's no backs
I
on
don't
the
like
stools.
I don't like no backs on the bar stools.
You got to back it up.
Yeah.
You got to back it up. And so, like, we were talking about it, and we were saying, like, if we ever opened up a bar, our whole selling point would be, like,
That it
it's
has
comfortable
backs.
seating.
Everything has backs.
Yeah, so it would be called, like,
Yeah.
Back It Up, or, like,
Baby got back.
Baby Got Back was the eventual
Back
winner.
to the Future.
Back to the
and
Future.
all of our drinks would be back related. One drink is like
Yeah.
scoliosis.
Yeah. Has, like, a twisted T.
Polio.
Vertebrae. I don't know what that one would be.
Yeah.
But you know
mix
what?
It up.
I do think it just makes me wonder. Do you think it's just like costs? Like, why wouldn't you get seats with backs?
Aesthetically
Space?
pleasing, it does look nice when you don't have like the bars, because if you just have like the circle in the bottom, like the regular bar seat, like you could see the full bar, and like sometimes people like do that as like the aesthetic.
It's like more spacious. It's
more
Like it makes it
spacious.
look open.
Yeah. And no matter how you put in those chairs, like, like say someone's just like getting up, getting out, there's not someone constantly shifting the bar stools so they all look very perpendicular to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think it is a spacing thing too. Like a stool
It's
with
like
a back.
clanky. Those are clanky chairs.
And they're bulky. They take
Bulky.
up more space. You could fit less stools at the bar.
Yeah.
So I get why you don't have them, but
Yeah. And yesterday we were at a bar and there was no backs, but we made backs. Like we turned ourselves so that our backs were facing. Yeah.
Because we were able to station against the wall.
No backs, we made backs.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Diana.
And we're two queens in a pod.
Podcast. And we are two queens from Queens, giving you the Queen's perspective. And today we are bringing you to Stone Street
Stone Street.
in Lower Manhattan.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite place, but I think it was one of those like unicorns when we were younger. Like you came upon it and you're like, whoa.
Wow. It's like the whole world opened up.
Yeah,
to you.
it is very unique compared to other streets, I guess. You know what I mean?
All right, you want to
like,
give us our little intro?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a short and sweet about Stone Street. I was going to try and do it without my notes, but I need dates, you know what I mean?
Here's the notes.
Use notes. Okay. All right. So New Amsterdam, before New York, was established in 1624. That's when the Dutch settlers came over and took the land. So this is British rule is not happening yet. We're still in New Amsterdam. The Dutch were here. There was a street in New York, downtown, Lower Manhattan. This was like where all the ships were coming into. Like this is kind of by the water. So they established a lot of settlements in this area of now Manhattan. So there's this particular street, and they had the residents of it. It's called Bureau Street or Borough. It's like spelled like brewers, because there's a lot of breweries that were there, like local pubs and breweries. So it's called Brewer Street. And the residents of this street filed a petition to pave the street and with cobblestone. So back in the day, there was only dirt because people were riding horses and doing whatever they were doing like on the street. So this was the first paved street in New Amsterdam. Okay. So they funded the money. They got a petition ready. They funded their own money to pave the street, and that happened in 1658. All right, so only a few years later, the British come and they take over New Amsterdam in 1664. Now, there's a lot of different street names that eventually turned into Stone Street. So there was essentially two streets. There was Brewer Street and there was Hugh Street, or now High Street. And once the British took over, I'm trying to think of what I'm doing. So like a lot of this area was taken over by English quarters and British merchants that moved into the area. One of them being the William Bradford, who started the first printing press in New York in 1693. So basically, we're going to fast forward a little bit so that I can wrap up this intro. But now fast forward to where we are today, which is now in the when was it when they like repaved it, the late 1990s.
Yeah,
so
in 2000 they did a restoration.
They did a restoration to what it is right now, which is this cobblestone pedestrian only street.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And it's one of these episodes we've had a couple of these where we really go back to how a location is an outlet to the history of New York and what it was before.
Yeah.
Like this has so much to do with the Dutch were here, then the British, then the United States. And it's just so funny that there's this reminder that there's things older in New York that are older than the United States in general. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like before 1776. But at the same time, really in the general scheme of things is not that old. Like we're only a couple hundred years old. You know, like this is it. This is like such a new nation like that.
Right. Like
400 years in the general scheme of like Rome or like Paris is like nothing.
Right. Like you go to Spain and find an aqueduct that was like made in 1 BC.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay.
It's really interesting. But if you ever were in Lower Manhattan, the streets are very like colluded. Like it's kind of really hard to find Stone Street unless you like know where you're looking for. And back in the day, we had we didn't have GPS. Like I remember when I was like 21, unless you had an iPhone, which was like a luxury to have an iPhone. You know what I mean? Like back in the like 2006, 2007 when the iPhone first came out, like
you were fancy.
You didn't have that. You were fancy if you had that.
Yeah, definitely.
So we were trying to find Stone Street, and because it's not on a grid, there's just like random streets everywhere, and they're all named something like Water Street and Broad Street.
Right.
But I kind of just like looked into this. We probably talked about this before, but the reason that Lower Manhattan doesn't follow a grid system like the rest of Manhattan does is because it predates the 1811 Commissioner's Plan, which established the grid in Manhattan Island. So anything lower than like Greenwich Village and all of Lower Manhattan and Fidei are not on the grid system that was from 1811. I thought that was interesting.
For like strategic reasons.
Yeah.
To like.
No, they were established already.
Right.
So like these streets were here obviously since like the 1600s, so they couldn't just like build over them.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I just think it was interesting because like. Going back to like how it's hard to find and how originally it was actually 2 roads that became one over time.
When two become one.
Wow, bringing it back to the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
So in some ways, Stone Street is like built on top of, like there's this massive building on, I think it's 85 Broad Street.
Yeah.
That basically cuts Stone Street in half.
Yes.
So there's like the
and
regular
that was
paved,
built in the 80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was like, there's like a very small block called Stone Street that's like, looks like any other block. Mm-hmm. And then there's this massive building, and then there's like Old Stone Street. And so that massive building does make it really tucked away and hidden. So when you do find
it completely hides it from like the main like street that's over there.
Yeah, it's like, you know what you think of, like, you know, in Queens, there's like the back end, there's the back alleyway where a lot of people have like where they park their cars.
Oh yes, yeah.
It almost looks like a back alleyway, and
yeah.
It's like if you don't make that little turn and like look, you don't see it, you miss it, which makes it even more magical. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Talking about the building, the 85 Broad Street skyscraper that's there, there actually is a portion that you could look down. They like made it like a memorial where you could look down and see the original Stone Street, and they found it. They only found it because when they were creating the building and doing the, I guess the, I don't know, what do you do like when you dug out stuff?
So what was going on is from 1979 to like the 1980s, there was an archaeological excavation.
Okay.
And it's at this area called Stan Hughes Block.
I wonder if they have to do these digs because of the historical significance of that area. Like, do they bring in archaeologists for every building that they dig up? You
It
know
may
what I
have
mean?
been, yeah. Because, like, so the towering 32-story skyscraper on 85 Broad Street split Stone Street in half, like we were just saying. They started the construction in 1980, and it was finalized in 1983. And when they excavated it, they saw, like, oh, wow, like, this, like, so what you see now on Stone Street is only, like, 25 years old.
Yeah,
Those
that was
stones-
what was built during the renovation.
Yeah,
or
those-
restoration.
Those current day stones are only like 25 years old.
Yeah.
But if you dig down 6 feet under that, you will see like artifacts or like remnants of that first cobblestone, like that true cobblestone block from the 1600s. And so what they did is they kind of left that little manhole alone, put like glass over it.
And then like a plaque down there. And
and
I'm
a
like, someone needs
railing.
to come with Windex. You can't see it. It's all like smudged up.
It's a little dirty.
It's hard.
Yeah. But you know what I thought was so funny? Like, how many times have you and I been to Stone Street? And I never knew there was this, like,
No, I never knew that was there.
little historical tidbit thing, like,
Yeah.
just waiting and, like, chilling there. I think that's really cool that they decided to keep that.
It was cute.
Yeah. But just going back, like, I feel like we're going to bounce around a little bit. But I want to go back a little bit to when the British took over and they started renaming things. So the British were like, all right, we don't want to call this Brewer Street and High Street anymore. Or Hogue Street.
Hogue, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, all right, it's not going to be Hogue Street. We're going to call that High Street. And then we're not going to call Brewer Street anymore. We're going to call that Stony Street. Mm-hmm. And then eventually they changed the name again.
Well, because when British didn't want the Dutch names, and then the colonists didn't want British names.
So that's
like
yeah,
they didn't
that's
want
what,
the British rules, so then they changed it to Stone Street.
Yeah, that's totally what I was gonna get to, because like they eventually renamed it to Duke Street. So the British called it Duke Street, to I guess named after the Duke of Earl or whatever. And then to that point, New Yorkers. So once the United States came to be, they were like, all right, we don't want all these British names, right? We're going to change the name of the street to Stone Street, but let's keep New York. Like, why would you, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why would you choose to change the name of a street, but not your entire state?
I don't know. Yeah. Petty. Pretty petty.
It's just weird. Like, make it make sense. Like, you're either going to rebrand or you're not going to rebrand.
Yeah.
Like, get it together.
I don't know. I don't have the answers for you, okay?
My only thought was, like, it would have been too much paperwork changing. Like, you know, when they became the colonies.
I thought it was annoying that they kept changing the street name. Like, is it that serious? That they needed to change it 5 times?
Crazy.
Yeah. Whatever.
I think, like...
It is what it is.
So we live in a... Yeah, it is. So we live in a patriarchal society, and I think, like, men are very, very wrapped up in, like, the naming of things. And I feel like that's maybe what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. Like, they needed something to do. Mm-hmm. So they, like, sit around and named things.
Okay.
They were, like, bored. But going back to how old Stone Street is, but how old the things actually are, we know the cobblestone's, like new. It's not old. Mm-hmm. But, like, the buildings even are newer than you would think. I thought always that those buildings were, like, back from Dutch times. But there was a great fire.
Yeah.
Which actually kind of made everything on that block a little bit older than what it actually is. So nothing on that block...
We've definitely talked about this before, but there was the Great Fire of New York, which is December 16th, 1835. And that was started in a warehouse. And then due to high winds... it destroyed about 700 buildings in Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
And then they said that they rebuilt pretty quickly after this. So if that's 1835, yeah, you're right. It's only about 200 years old, those buildings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, like, current day Harry's, that was built in 1854. Current day Grand Via, Underdog, and... I don't know, something Angel. Those are other establishments on current day Stone Street. That was built in the early 1900s. Adrian's Pizza and Havana Social, those were all built in the early 1900s. So the buildings are not as old as the block itself. You know?
But you know what how you can tell that they are old is they're not incredibly high. I would say maybe they're like 4 or 5 stories high.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by skyscrapers.
Right.
That's how you know. And like a lot of the buildings are designated landmarks, so they're never going to be able to be touched. So it's going to be how it is right now, where you have this one block in Manhattan that is all lower buildings surrounded by skyscrapers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's another charm of it, of that all of a sudden, like, you're looking up and then you finally just look down.
It is charming. It is definitely charming. And we went yesterday to have dinner there, and we have a video of it. Well, we're going to put it up, but there's just like this huge group of tourists that not only just walk through Stone Street, but Stone Street has all of these picnic tables, like all right next to each other. It's very close tight. They somehow went in the middle of all of the tables, like go around.
Also, I think
it was the weirdest thing.
The concept of being a tourist and going to Stone Street, not to go and enjoy it and to eat or have a drink, but just to watch people having a drink.
It looked like they were on a walking tour, to be fair. It did look like they were on some kind of like lower Manhattan walking tour.
But why did they walk through? Like, why didn't they just poke their head in and then like leave?
It was very odd. And when we went to dinner there at 5, and this is like prime time, like happy hour, everyone's getting out of work, and we were sitting in like this one outdoor area, and all of a sudden, like after we were having conversation, we look up, the whole place is packed, like by like 6 o'clock there. It's crazy. Like all the people after work, like all those buildings, people get out of work after that and they just go to Stone Street.
It's a very, very popular place to go, like post work, for anyone who works in that area. And you see it, like they just come with their like suits, and you can tell
they look
like the fine ass bros just roll up and have some beers with their friends.
Well, it's so I mean I know I don't know how much you want to talk about the history, but I kind of want to go back to us being there yesterday.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we went to this one popular bar called the Dead Rabbit. And it's like
that's not on Stone Street.
It's not on Stone
really
Street.
Close.
It's off of Stone Street. But we struck up a conversation with this guy that we were sitting next to, and like he wasn't even born during 9/11.
Oh my
and it's
God.
like we're in the bars with kids that like weren't born during 9/11. Like that's
crazy.
The reality we're in now.
And it was so interesting because
they're all like 22, 23.
Yeah. And so I kind of forget that age gap and what they've missed and what they've actually experienced and what they've just heard of. And somehow the kid brings up like, oh yeah, like my grandparents live in New Orleans, and like I don't know if you guys ever heard of Hurricane Katrina, but like they really like felt like the effects of that, and we're like, yeah, of course we've heard of Hurricane Katrina.
We heard about
and
it.
So I go, George Bush hates black people, and he just starts like he like looked at me and then like kind of started laughing, and I was like, do you know what I'm talking about? And he's like, no.
Yeah, he didn't get the Kanye West.
No,
Mike
the
Myers
reference. And we had to like lay out like how you used to watch MTV Live, like that you didn't just look up videos online, that everything was just happening in the moment, and it was just this very
like we were explaining
moment.
like culture to him. We never felt older in my life.
Oh my God!
Yeah, but it was fun. It's it's all good and like good fun and interesting to meet these people.
Yeah.
But that was my first like moment of being like, oh my God,
senior moment.
Yeah, senior moment. We're like with these like young kids now.
Oh, they're little babies.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
But bringing it a little bit back to the history, not that this is a major thing, but you were bringing up the landmark status, and I thought it was really interesting. Did you know? I had no idea that in the 1990s it was sort of like a forgotten, abandoned block. Can you imagine Stone Street being like I would love to see a time lapse, because like apparently it just kind of got into disrepair. They got rid of the whole like cobble street. It was asphalt, like it was just regular flooring. I think there was a lot of graffiti on the buildings. No one was really like, there wasn't a lot of businesses there. It was really run down. And that was around the time that they gave it landmark status. And then 3 years after it got landmark status, that's when the National Register of Historic Places that's when the Landmark Preservation Commission city came in and was like, all right, we're going to collab with the Downtown Alliance and like collectively throw money on this block and like restore it. So I just like...
So like all those bars that were there, well, the Stone Tavern place that we had dinner at yesterday said it was established there in like 1950 something.
So I think
So like those places were there, it just wasn't like the outdoors type area.
that's what
that
I
it was.
think. So
Okay.
if you go down Stone Street, you could enter each establishment from outside of Stone Street or on Stone
Yeah,
Street.
you're right. Yeah.
And so essentially you can walk through each building if
So
you
that
wanted
could have
to.
probably just looked like one of those regular side streets that are downtown Manhattan.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Maybe they that's where they threw out the garbage and stuff. Like it just wasn't, they weren't using it. And I think they must have all decided, well, once it got revamped up, they all were like, oh, let's all use this. Like, let's connect all our establishments in some ways through this block.
So there, to that point, there are multiple times a year that they have Oktoberfest there every year. They have a St. Patrick's Day there. Like they do all these different events that all of the establishments kind of collectively come together and participate in it. So I don't think that there's incredible competition there.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
I think they are like pretty collaborative.
It very much feels like a community.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like a capitalist, like, we're gonna let's
or
get the edge on
come
them.
this one, come to like our area. Yeah.
No, I feel like if anything, they're like, yeah, come here and then go there. Like it's open in a way that there's like, it's like,
and we were discussing this yesterday that, like we said, when I first ever went there when I was like 21, I was like, whoa, like this is so cool, because before COVID, there was very rare places that were out, like had this incredibly outdoor area. Like that kind of like popped off after COVID. Like in Astoria, yeah, there always was the outdoor seating like during the summertime, like on 30th Ave and stuff. Like I remember always like doing that.
Like Grand Ave Grand Ave, that's the name of it. What am I thinking?
The Grand.
Sorry,
yeah.
the Grand was always one that had like a massive outdoor seating area,
yeah.
but that was like the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was what was so cool about this area, was everything was outdoors, and you like, what is it? Al fresco. Like that's outdoor, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so in a lot of ways, like Stone Street was like, oh, let's like go out and eat
open
outside.
air.
Yeah. And so that's just something else that set it apart. Now you might take that for granted because you're like, oh, everyone does outdoor, but it's the OG outdoor spot.
It
I'd
seemed
say
pretty busy yesterday. I don't think they're hurting in any way.
No, definitely not. Yeah, but I love Stone Street. It's so cool. I really recommend you going. If you don't know what we're talking about and you've never been there, you're really missing out, and you should go.
I remember I was telling Diana this, but one of my really good friends had her bachelorette party in Lower Manhattan, and we stayed in like some like hotel over there, and we did like Stone Street, and we did like Watermark on the Seaport and all that. And one of our like portion of the night was there was like this Harry Potter experience in one of the bars, and I don't think it's there anymore. I was telling that, I'm like, unfortunately, but like you would like use potions to mix your drinks and everything. It was cool.
And you said they gave you a wand.
They gave you a wand, and like the wand would like turn on the tap to like pour your beer. It was cute. A lot of cute places over there. Really interesting.
I feel like if they had more
pricey,
of
but
yeah. Actually, I wasn't too so.
Apparently they have happy hour stuff. We were not taking advantage of any of the happy
privy
hours.
to that, yeah. We just like wanted to eat and sit outside, so that's what we did. But I'm sure if you sat at the bar, you might benefit from some happy hour stuff. But yeah, I would say Stone Street might be one of my favorite streets in New York City. It might be my favorite street.
Wow, that's a
big
tough fact to follow.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's very unique. Yeah,
very unique. It's very cool. Definitely cool. Definitely one of my favorite places. And it's right near South Street Seaport, which makes it really convenient, you know.
And we ran to the ferry and we made it yesterday, guys.
So I feel like it was a complete joint effort on that one. Yeah. So we're about to leave the Dead Rabbit. And at this point, I'm like, oh, we're not going to make the ferry. It was like 8 o'clock.
We had to give a cultural shock to the 22-year-old. You know, like we were really invested in teaching him lessons of the world. We lost track of time.
And so we leave, and I was like, there's no way we could go. And Mel's like, no, we could do it. And I was like, really?
It was like 7 minutes. Like we had 7 minutes before it departed.
Yeah. So like I kind of I'm doing like a walking run, and I'm like, yo, I look like I don't know,
like,
a little
dude,
mouse.
how your little legs like walking so fast? I like could not keep up with you.
I was like, I don't know, and I just went. I was like the little Energizer bunny, and then I ran. I like sprinted down, and I saw our boat, our ferry, going to Astoria, and I was like, is that the Astoria ferry? And the guy was like, yeah. And I was like, hold on. My friend's right here. It was like very dramatic.
I mean, we are really big fans of the ferry.
Love it. It's the only way to
but
travel
I
in
will
the summer.
say the people who work on the ferry are like really nice people. Like they are not like other like subway people or like MTA people who'd be like, no, sorry, like and like lock the door in your face or something.
Yeah, like the bus driver who won't open the door.
Yeah. They are very like, yeah, come on, let's go. Yeah.
I mean, out of all the like New York City travel jobs, like I would say that's the coolest one to have. Like everyone who's going on the ferry is like happy to be there.
Yeah.
There's no like begrudging, like angry like New Yorker who's like, I gotta take this train or like I gotta take this ferry. Like everyone's like happy to be there.
Or at least the people we've met.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone too upset.
And there's like someone
ferry.
listening like, I hate the ferry. I hate it. Well, I usually get sick on the ferry. I didn't get sick yesterday.
But you took your Dramamine.
I did, but I took it on the ferry. You know, like
Ooh.
usually you need to like take that like 30 minutes in advance.
I think it worked.
Yeah, but we got on the ferry at 8:10 p.m. We arrived back in Astoria before 9.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And I love going to our ferry stop because it's literally like a 0.6 walk from both of our places.
Yeah.
It's so convenient. It really is the only way to travel in the summer. Mm-hmm. So awesome.
So what a wonderful day. Go to Lower Manhattan, hop on the ferry, find your way back home.
Yeah.
Beautiful night.
That's a day right there. Ferry, South Street Seaport, Stone Street, and then...
Ferry again or no?
Yeah, take the ferry
Back
again.
on the ferry? I don't
Why
know.
not?
I'm like a one and done kind of ferry, I think.
All right, then end the night with the ferry.
Yeah, when the sun's setting.
Yeah, very picturesque.
Make sure you plan accordingly.
Yes, map it out.
Map it out so you're on the ferry during the sunset, and you will. Find yourself a 22-year-old that's at a bar. Explain culture to him.
Very specific.
Make yourself a little bit late for the ferry. Run to the ferry. Get on it on time, and then that's the perfect way to end the night.
Yeah, because then you're just so happy you made it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Peace out.
2 queens out. No, you have to say peace out. Is it peace out? And I said 2 queens out.
I think we did it perfectly.
We did out and out before.
I say
Peace out, and I go 2 queens out. That's 2 outs.
But not 3, so we're still in.
All right. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.